But for them to group up properly with Vex and teams joining, that is going to be at least another 30-40 seconds. So they have to stand their ground, and standing their ground they do. No, as I say that, Vex finds one, but Dante takes him down in return. That should be a flush coming through. There should be no way for teams. As I say, does he stay on this? Or does he leave? He knows there's more to play for. He has teammates in the circle.
Well, he definitely has,
he stays.
As far as phase goes, yeah, James is coming around for Vex, and so he missed there, but I guess Anonix now going to be taking shots at the Expendables, who have had a pretty decent start to this tournament, but they're going to get immediately melted, and Deal will find Delwyn as well.
14 minutes is how long it took for kills to finally come in this first global Rondo game ever. As Expendables able to get their way across the street, they do lose Delwyn in the cross on over, not expecting Danawa to be in the dip close to them and go, oh, you can play dips here? Sure, we'll just take the one on the other side of the street. Expendables running out of util as they try to make just any sort of cover, but again, having heard mortars earlier, there are so many threats looming right now for them.
Yeah, the main one definitely being Danawa right now is that, what a shift, and that's gonna completely, that is completely cutting out everybody in the circle.
You know what? We said that new happy Tianba and FaZe had a rough time. Let's give him a circle. Let's give him a chance to turn this one around as we swing towards the northwest. As you said, a lot of teams are being caught out here, and they're playing into very open territory.
Oh, Kissy ran out of ammo. He could have almost had that knock as Anonix now trying to step over, and they will eliminate the Expendables. What a play, but that actually gave the window of rotation to Twisted. They'll slip right by.
Where does Twisted go here? Twisted is not a team to just randomly full speed send it center unless they know there's something available. They saw this shack at a distance. A phase 4 commit to a shack on an open hill. That's when you know you don't have a whole lot to choose from.
Yeah, the problem, especially with that shack, is it's pretty much the top of that hill, and all around it there really isn't any cover, not even trees. It's very barren, and so they're gonna have to use those vehicles to create it for it. But at the very least, it is center. 2 of them will stay, and I imagine the other 2 will probably try to venture off and find another dip, and it looks like they have.
Get a replay here of the fight just before. Again, Correxy trying to defend. Found the first one, but Sololsi, nice off angle.
Goodness, Army Ranger Sololsi just coming in with a parachute. Okay.
Full speed forward. Didn't know Ezio Auditore came with guns. Apparently he does. As this fight continues, and FaZe once again gets the kills onto Cerberus. Players taking them out in 14.
And so far, Bamboo is working out very well for FaZe, actually, is now Roth coming in for a rotation. He's going to get clipped by Norins. And now the rest of Day Trade knows that Falcons is coming in off of this. Can he do enough damage? Seems like he can, but Falcons as well fighting back. Flood again steps up with a knock.
Nice double coming through on the side of Falcons, but a lot of damage done on their side as well. Belma, Thanadol trying to fend off a Snakers flush out the remaining 2. Nate comes over and Day Trade clears up. The issue is they still have Danawa to deal with. Can they reset in time now to make their way further forward?
Thanadol very dangerous. Has that P90. They're going to drive right into Danawa, though, and they don't have a chance.
No. Phenomenal reaction play from Danawa. Risky, of course, at that, knowing that they have teams on the other side looking now up in the sky to try and make sure that no one's gunning for them. Look for mortar fire if anyone's up to go that direction, and try and make your way back down to the dip you came from.
Yeah, they will have a little bit of a reprieve here yet. They have a nice ridge ahead of them, but that circle does them no favors. Twisted, dead center in the circle, but really not much cover. But there's really not that much cover in the circle to begin with for the other teams.
You say not much cover, but look at your screens right here, right now. 4am using the Rondo exclusive deployable cover to full effect.
We didn't even talk about that. That's actually
it's in play. It's an 80 underhand throw on the ground. Boom, cover granted. You have to watch out though, because if you get hit on the head, it's a little thing.
It'll crush you. It'll do a little bit of damage. Probably my favorite addition to this game is that deployable cover, especially
on Rondo.
On Rondo. But in general, I would actually maybe like to see it on other maps. I could be alone in that opinion, but I feel like if you're stuck in open terrain, you have 2, 3, 4 of those, you can actually create a nice position to fight from.
Bold action in hand for Power as he gets himself a knock and a flush onto Heaven. Nice damage done towards the south, because for Tianba, I mean, they have to make their way further towards the circle in just a moment, so do as much damage as you can before you're forced to move potentially. Running into the teams who were just fighting as Valentine now try to fend off against Sonics.
And this little sports center here is getting lit ablaze. Sonics coming in for Valley Tai, and now Kiss has actually been quite great for Valley Tai so far, and Shrimzy is trying to be recovered here. Fortunately, that grenade will land just outside this building, and so Sonics still need to press this issue very quickly.
Dynamo realizing this fight is going on, they're going to use that time to try and run away, but Quantum Freak says no. They're going to shut down the winners of the previous match early. As NaVi now on the southern side of this new circle try to make a landfall for their own, but again, up towards this position, up towards this shack, it's not an easy run to make.
No, and not that NaVi had a choice, but coming here this early is really not ideal, especially with the team still in the west trying to take shots. But more importantly, because Twisted can take their time in the shack, they don't need to push the pace. Meanwhile, 17 getting involved in the fight with Valley Tai and Sonics, but here comes the push.
One molly locked on forward, doesn't go through the window, can't quite find him. Ferris, though, finds the first. Will he be able to take down Lewis? Well, no, he runs out of ammo.
Oh, but fortunately, he backs up into the molly.
Oh,
what a nade!
Could not be more unfortunate, but Vectix from a distance able to do the damage needed. We saw them split out earlier. Incredibly smart not to put all your eggs in one shack, but leave 2 players on the northern side in the dip to assist from a distance.
17 doing what they do best. They third-party this fight at the perfect time. Little Ghost will find Kick, and Huynh will go down, and that is the end of Sonics. 17 with a very strong position now here on this edge. As long as they scout forward and maybe move forward, they actually have a nice ridge to play as well, so definitely the beneficiaries of that.
But it's going to be a run on foot, and look at the sparse cover. I mean, you can count on one hand really, unless you're counting trees. It's not a whole lot that they have to play around. They know that 4 AM is towards the north, but now with a little bit of help for FaZe coming in, maybe that's going to sway them to look north. They do have cars, 2 of that make it. They should be able to wrap north, as this circle is right on what we're seeing here, 4 AM and FaZe.
I mean, Fex had to have known that there's players here, right? He just drove in alone, so he'll be the tip of the spear for them as shots will ring out and HSMM will go down.
What a timing. FaZe baits the attention, allowing for Gustav and James to wrap around the side. But here comes 17. They are within nade range. They can do a lot of damage from here. And Xiao Wu is able to take out Xiao Pian. And that's going to be 4 AM down in 6th place. 5 teams now left alive as 17 Gaming finally get a good game going.
17 finally making all the right decisions and putting themselves in a position to really do what they do best and farm. As I say that, CC with a disgusting little couple taps there, and he's going to put Little Ghost down.
Yep. To take him out, but there's still the threat of NewHappy. They're 4-man strong. They're applying a lot of pressure. They too have to move in just a moment. Tianba, NewHappy, both outside the next circle. And right now, I mean, my eyes are drawn towards Perfectix, towards Example. They're inside the circle, but now let's stay with the northern fight for a moment. James down, Fex down, solid shots coming through from Xiaobei. Gustav is there to assist though, finds the double in return.
And Gustav turning this around. All of a sudden, this is a 1v1. He's going to be able to heal at the very least. Suju now coming through out in the open. Gustav being that anchor point, doing everything he can, but now he's stuck.
Absolutely phenomenal response. Unfortunately, a bit too late. His 2 teammates will go down. As now Gustav creeping ever so much further forward. Twisted Minds opting to rock up on this position to offer what just happened there, and he will. It's going to be CC, as a matter of fact, taking out Sushu. 17, nice attempt to cross further forward, but not to be. Gustav, if he somehow takes out them both here, he could win it, but I think, yeah, Perfectix saw it. Saw it in the kill feed. The flushes hadn't come through, and that's then going to be them down.
And this whole game, Toby, has been a battle for this rock specifically.
Oh, yeah.
But the one thing to note as well is Tianba has just been quietly on the south side, kind of avoiding all of the chaos, and now putting themselves in a position at the very least to find something in the south and maybe take some shots at NewHappy, if not try to take out Twisted. But Twisted very much entrenched on the north side of that rock.
Look at the util split among these teams. NewHappy is coming in as fresh as can be. 13 smokes, 7 nades still to play with. Tianba, they have not had the same set of util. The only reason I would say for that is they opted to aggress compound-wise very early on. They stuck there for a while. Now they're forced to move. So they're still, I mean, while they're low on util, it's really the util they never picked up in the early phases of the game. FaZe, Twisted Minds, on the other hand, they have been brawling their way through this match. Can they, while outnumbered, do something to take out or maybe help one of the teams win in Tianba and NewHappy?
As far as Tianba goes as well, I mean, they're very healthy. Their armor and helmets really haven't been shot at too much. The fact that they have 6 kills, they have a lot of utility left. Tianba is in a good position as far as the team's health, but as far as the circle goes, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I mean, a lot of the people here
this
like
is so
pancakes.
open, Toby.
A
Oh
lot
my
of people
goodness.
like pancakes. I hope you're into them because that's where we're headed. Open fields of rain with a blueberry on 2 on top in the shape of rocks to grant you just some cover, but all cover you're going to get here is the cover you're going to bring yourself. Longska looking, trying to see if he can maybe find the Tianba player as Pow Pow rushes on forward, wants to claim a spot. There's a crate, there's a rock, now there's a car as well. He's tight inside the circle.
That crate is actually going to help them quite a bit with cover as well, let alone the gear inside. So that's going to be a nice little addition to their car fort that they're going to try to make now. Taking shots from the shack that Twisted currently, or not currently, had been.
The thing is, Gustav is still lingering on the northeast side, and Twisted has to respect that. Gustav, we've seen him time and time again go out and pull off solo plays here. So 1v2 against Twisted Minds is not at all out of the realms of possibility. Nan falls down, Tianba and NewHappy. The Chinese war continues as these guys now 3 in a car poach forward.
And the one thing about this area that is nice for these teams that there are enough hills to create somewhat of a defilade for them to hide behind. Little ridges, not huge, but just enough to provide a little bit of cover. But that's going to be a nice nade coming from Lin Shu onto Ming.
That's what they can do, Tianba. And again, I mean, them and NewHappy, plenty of util to work around, plenty of smokes for them to utilize. You saw they had 13 just before. Now they're down to just 2, doing everything, using all their util to try and get inside this next circle. But so far, Tianba has them on lockdown.
This nade might spell trouble for Twisted. No, looks like they get away. Meanwhile, nope. Gustav doing everything he can. He's not going to make it in, and that actually now gives Twisted a lot of room to work with.
Definitely does. These two teams have, if not fully committed, then almost to taking the fight to one another. Now they're both forced to kind of say, time out a moment. Twisted just finished their fight. They're going to start looking in our direction. NewHappy is forced to back off because they've just been, I mean, they've just opened ankles effectively to Twisted Minds. They weren't a threat before, so they didn't cast to be revealed to that direction. But now, trying to get back to cover doesn't come too easy. Pow Pow finds December 12th. 1 more falls.
And all of a sudden, I mean, Twisted is still quite in this game as they're finding knock after knock, getting more damage. Once they eliminated Gustav, which was a thorn in their side, they're really able to flex their wings. An example will find December 12th again.
Yep, vehicle explosion should be the killing blow for December 12th. Maybe not. Maybe he stays alive for a little while there. Example, of course, you can destroy the deployable cover. An example is trying to do just that, because if it falls here, they're going to be in trouble. Twisted Minds knows they have to make a rotation in a couple of seconds. They have 1 smoke to make that run. Let me just put it this way, that run is never going to happen. So they need to do all the damage now, and Example is doing just that. And
look at this elevation that he has. So much damage going out from Example, point after point, and they're still clawing. You can never count out Twisted, no matter how many members.
This is, again, the situation of where we say, oh, but this area is no cover. Look at what the players are doing. They're playing with minimal cover and making plays happen. Who would have thought Example could get up on this rock and get a perfect overview towards the western side?
Example did.
Well, I mean, clearly he knew stuff that we did. All I'm saying is that while it's open, players always find a way to make it happen.
And that's what you have to do at this level. I mean, any little advantage, whether it's, you know, a little bit of elevation on a rock, a small defilade, a crate that just dropped.
You know what? The fact here that Tianba is still yet to lose a player, despite having, I think, 9 players knocked at this point, is incredibly impressive. Now, 7-7 is down, but Resable, as Perfectus is finally dealt with the circle, is going to close on in. An Example, solo player now left alive for Twisted Minds, has to try and see if he can make something happen on his own.
Tianba have to be careful, though, here. They cannot give too much away. They already have 1 knocked, and if they lose another one, all of a sudden, the advantage that they have is not an advantage at all, but fortunately, Example will find and finally flush December 12th.
Goes for NewHappy win. But bro, we're fighting the 4-man team. You're supposed to help us, but no help is coming his way. CC takes the shot to his head. That's now the stun gun in the hands of Lin Shu as he's trying to crawl on forward.
And I think Lin Shu has the new ghillie suit as well with the flowers, so a little bit hidden in there. The stun gun is, I mean, if you land a shot, it's basically a free kill.
Yep.
And the range is decent.
Definitely is. Longska trying to stay alive. Solo player left alive for NewHappy again. For NewHappy and Tianba, both really struggling off of the first 2 wrangles. Does Longska go for the near impossible 1v3? If there's a guy capable, it would be him, but no. He's going to deny. No reason to skip points on over. What a game. Solid finish there for Tianba to log up that win.
And the story of Rondo's Battle for the Rock for our first ever international event.
We have opened the, I want to say prologue, not the chapter 1 yet, but the beginning.
Yeah, the beginning.
We have set the scene for for what will be yet another map added to the esports map pool here at Esports World Cup.